Hi everyone, my name is Bonnie and I have a soap company called Good Earth Spa. And so I ordered this water distiller, and the reason why I need this is for my soap company, and it's because dissolved particles when you're making soap sometimes interfere with your lye mixture, so it's really important to have as pure of a water as possible. You could either use distilled or reverse osmosis, which is what I recommend, but distilled is a little bit better. So right now I'm just unboxing this, and I'm just gonna show you how it comes, and I will be doing a more of a thorough review after I get an opportunity to use it. So it came here, I ordered it from Amazon. I will link you to the one that I ordered under the video, and it came by UPS just now, and I'm pretty excited to get this. The reviews that I read say, oh, there's a lot of good reviews on this. There's a couple of bad ones, which, you know, you can't please everyone, but there's a lot of good ones too. And a lot of people have been able to get this to really work well for them. So one thing, definitely read the reviews first. Most people seem like they were really happy with this product, which is why I chose it. So this is what is inside. Here are the charcoals. This was mentioned that you do need to put these in, these little charcoal filters. So I guess eventually I'm gonna need to reorder this. At the store right now, if I'm gonna go out and buy a gallon of distilled water, it might cost me, depending on where I shop, $1 or more or less. I didn't know that it came with this. This is citric acid to clean the reservoir. This you can also buy just about anywhere, and I also have it for sale on my website as well. So this is a power cord. A lot of the reviews have said that it takes about 5.5 hours to distill a gallon, but people are using a timer and setting it for 5 hours and having it shut off, which makes it really easy to clean out the reservoir. So I do have a timer. I'm going to grab that before I start my first distillation and take that advice from the other users. Because I have really hard water here. We are on a well, so there's going to be a lot of gunk back there if I just let it get caked on and cooked into the reservoir. Let's see. Okay. And the one that I ordered has a glass carafe, but I think there's ones that come with plastic too. I don't even see where the carafe could be. So that is what it looks like. Okay, silly me. I was reading the instructions a little bit before I continued, and the collection container is actually packaged inside of the distiller here. So there is a collection container, and mine is glass. So let's see what is in here. I don't know what this is. Someone did mention that your glass container has to be put together. So I guess we have a handle and some stuff. Okay, probably gonna have to read these instructions. This looks like a lid and then just some more safe packaging stuff. Okay. So I did get some broken pieces, and I've been able to identify them as pieces which broke off of my lid. So I will have to write to them and find out about that. But it doesn't seem like it's something that is going to prevent me from being able to use it. So I guess that's not the worst thing in the world, although no one really wants something to arrive already damaged. Now I am going to assemble this because I was able to look over the instructions, and I'll just go ahead and speed through that once I get started. But it does say that it says inspect the glass to make sure nothing's chipped or damaged, and contact the distributor for replacements. So I will be contacting them for a replacement for this, which did arrive damaged, but nothing else appears to have arrived damaged. So now I'm just going to get started in putting this together, and I'll just speed through that. This is now assembled. This was not easy to do after all. It just looks like a couple of, like a nut and a bolt and easy. First, this Phillips wouldn't go through because it was too thick for this multi one. So I ended up making do with a very thinner or a thin flathead. And they tell you on these instructions that you might need to adjust the angle with your needle nose pliers, which I had to adjust the angle just to get it to fit, and then I had to adjust the angle again just so that it would accept the nut, because when I realized I was looking in from this side while I was trying to screw from the other side, and it just wasn't going in evenly, so that needed to be adjusted in order for me to assemble it. So now it's assembled, and it should be fine. They say use 2 hands. Okay, so I would use 2 hands. Okay, so now I am going to fill it up and take it for a run. I wanted to quickly test this water so I can do it before and after test. This is a TDS meter, which will test your particles, parts per million in your water. So you can see how pure is your water. Ideal drinking water, RO or distillation, should be around 0. And then 500 plus is the EPA's max contamination level. So I'm going to test my well water. This is softened with a softener because it's very hard, but it still has a lot of particles in there. So I have, it says 343, 344, 348, 347, so you can see that the water is in the 300 something, 333, 337. So as it moves around, it's going to vary a little bit, but we're in the 330 to 340-ish range on the meter. Okay, so that is my water, and that's okay. So if you put on the 200 is considered hard water. 2 to 4 is considered marginally acceptable, and that's average tap water. Okay, so 400, 500 plus, that's really hard. Okay, so just as a baseline for comparison, I'm getting ready to distill the water, and I am going to use a timer. So let me show you my timer real quick. So these are timers. This is one I just had laying around, but I realized I can't use it because this distiller has a ground wire. So I have this one that I found at the Goodwill before, which is an outdoor light timer, so you could put all your stuff on a timer. So I'm going to use this one because it has a ground wire, and I just want to set this to 5 hours. So it's at 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter like which o'clock your timer is at, as long as you have a 5-hour window, and then you can use this to turn it on and to turn it off again. So let me set that up. It says to plug it in past the white line here. So there's this one, and then the other one as well, which is already comes past the white line. Okay. So when you plug it in, it turns on automatically. So I'm going to wait to plug it in until I fill this. So let's fill it. Okay. I'm going to plug this into my timer. And then I'm going to plug my timer into the wall. I have this piece left, which I haven't put on yet. This is where your your charcoal filters go. Someone in the reviews said it's best to use 2 of them. I'm just going to start off with 1 and see how that goes. Since I'm using this water for soap, it really doesn't matter to me what it tastes like, so as long as it's pure is what I'm going for. Alright, so I'll just start with that, okay, and then this clips right in here. Okay, and now that's on. And you get that running right into there. Let's see, can I do this with this on? Yes, okay. Alright, now to turn it on, I'm just going to slide this into the on position. So now this is going to run for 5 hours, and then I'll come back and show you what happened, test the water, and taste the water. So right now I'm just showing the speed at which it's distilling. And I would definitely keep the lid on while you're distilling, because otherwise you would lose some of the steam, which instead can condense to add to your total volume. Sure, the fan is pretty loud at that spot too, because you're right next to it. It's definitely a noise, but I'm not bothered by it. Okay, now it's been 5 hours, so my distillation is complete. And I did let it sit for a little while too, just to cool off. And I have, this is a Carlo Rossi wine jug. So these are some good glass containers to put your extra so that you can get started on your next batch. Not hot. And you can see the steam. There's some steam in there. You would want to be careful that it wasn't too hot, because you don't want to get burned by steam. But really quick, there's the inside, and you can see how much is left in there. So the fact that I left it on a timer prevented it from distilling all of the water in the reservoir, but it left a little bit to make it easy to clean out. So that's why I would do that. Now I want to take some of this water, and I'm going to test it with my meter, which is right here. Okay, let's turn it on first. Hopefully there's like nothing residual on this meter from using it before, but we'll see. We're getting a reading of 5, 6, 5, 4. So 4 parts. And it was before that in the 330 to 350 range. So parts per million, 4 or 5. About 5. We'll just say 5. So now I'm going to test it. Drinking, I'm going to drink some of it. First I'm going to smell it. I don't notice like a real odor, but while it was distilling, and a little bit too, and I smell it, like maybe like a hint of just ozone-ish, which is kind of like, you know, an air kind of scent. It smells mostly like nothing. Okay, I'm going to drink it right now. It really tastes great. Actually, I really like it. I don't think it would be necessary for you to use a second filter at all. Just one just seems to be perfect for me. And this water was really hard going into it because you saw me test it. The instructions say that you want to replace this every 25 days, but it really doesn't mention, unless I haven't seen it on usage, because what if you were to use this 3 or 4 times a day? Is it still every 25 days? Or what if you use it once in 25 days? So those are kind of questions I suppose could be raised, and I'll just have to play around with it, but it tastes great. It's really pure. So far, I'm a satisfied customer. I guess I'll drink the rest. Very clean water. Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to bottle it and get started on my next distillation. It's kind of getting late, but I feel like I can leave this into the evening because it'll just turn off with the timer. If you don't have a timer, this naturally turns off by itself, but it will cook on all that gunk, the gunk from the water. So this jug, my dad was visiting and he left this here, so I'm using it, and I'll probably get myself another one because first you get wine and then you get water. Alright, so there we go. That's that. I will later on, maybe in a month or 2 or however long it takes, when I really get used to it and I have more feedback and I can give more perspective, I can review it more. So this is just kind of an unboxing and initial test of it, initial opinions and impressions and all that stuff. So far, I think it's money well spent. When I do the math, it cost about 33 cents for me to do a gallon based on what my electricity costs are. So your electricity cost may be different. 580 watts. So find out what you're paying per kilowatt hour, and this obviously has to run for 5 hours to make about a gallon. So also, if you start with hot water, it will distill more. That's what a lot of people have said in the reviews, and it only makes sense because you're not going to start to distill until you're hot to begin with. I started with cold water. So maybe if I would have done warm water, I would get more, and that's something I'll be able to test and give opinions on next time. So thanks for watching, and if you happen to be watching and it's been a while, then check my other videos to see if I've put out the next review yet. If not, thanks for watching, and be sure to check in the description below for the link to the exact distiller that I purchased if you're interested in purchasing one too. Thanks for watching. Bye.